Well, welcome back to Life Journey Production Studios. My name is Keith, and this is the do-it-yourself case for the Aputure MC lights. I have one right here. In fact, I have 4, but this case is going to be able to expand to hold up to 8. We're going to start with 4 today, talk about how we'll get 8 in here. We want to be able to wirelessly charge at least 5 of these lights, maybe more, as well as being able to have a solar bank to be able to charge it when we're outdoors. It'll also wirelessly charge, and those links are going to be available here. So thanks for using those. They are associated affiliate links by Amazon. So if you purchase from those, you will be helping the channel, and I thank you for that. We're also using a rigid case, and this is a great little case because it's stackable. So you could put 3 together, different sizes. So the bottom one would have wheels, and so you could hook all these together. We'll be adding those cases in the future so that we can use them in outdoor and indoor video production projects. And I'll have the MC lights to be able to do accenting and things like that. So if you don't know anything about the Aputure MC lights, please check out my unboxing video right here on the channel. And this is a kit that's going to help hold these. Now, you could purchase these kits, a kit of 4 with a case that's chargeable, as well as a case of 12, but you don't get all of the soft boxes when you purchase those cases. And I want the soft box for each and every one of my Aputure MC lights, just because the advantages of softening the light is to what I use them for as well here in the studio. And so I wanted a kit that would contain all 4 or 8 or 12, regardless of what size I was to get. But this case is going to be able to hold up to 8. I could have space in here to put a couple in here, but they won't be built into the case like the rest of these will be able to be charged both wirelessly, USB, and there'll be a plug-in-a-bolt power option, as well as a backup battery charging up to 4 of those lights. And we'll talk more about that as we build the case. So I have 4 of these right here on the table. Here's a look at those, and this is a look at the case. So we have a number of camera angles. We have this camera. We have my B camera today, as well as I have a Logitech overhead camera that you're going to be able to see, and I have a iPhone on the case shooting down so you can see what I'm doing here. So this is going to be a do-it-yourself, so you get to follow along and see how I build this case with these Aputure MC RGB and bicolor little mini lights. And so check these out. I think they're a great option for you for your video production needs. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we're not going to be using these little container inserts, and I will be adding another case eventually. They'll pop on top of this that can have lots of supplies. But for right now, I have this little bag that's going to be the last thing that we put in the case, and it's going to be able to hold all of these soft boxes and any backup cables that I might have that I want to put in the case. So we'll just drop these in here right now and get them off the desk and out of the way. They will go in there a little bit more organized, but for right now, that's great. And this case is in the links as well below. So the first thing we want to do is try to lay out the box the way we want things to go. And I have a kneeling pad right here that I'm going to be using for my insert foam. So we're going to break this out now officially. I have 2 cardboard cutouts that I'm going to be using. This is going to be for the main compartment, and this is going to be for the secondary compartment. And we're going to try to get all of that out of this piece of foam. Also, set this down for a minute. We're going to be shooting for having this little USB power bank. And again, that's in the link below as well. We're going to plan on having that mounted up here so that we can use all the case space for future lights and our battery charging bank, because we're going to want to be able to lay the lights on top of this when we need to. And we want to be able to turn this over when we're ready to charge it. And I also have flashlight ability on this and 3 USB plugins in the back. So I can use this to charge 3, and I can use this to charge a 4th one. So not only could I charge 8 through this hub, if I plug it in, I'll be able to charge up to 4 right here. And that's great for outdoors when you are using 4 lights and you need to get them charged right away. And you could add a second one of these as a backup when you go to 8 lights, and a third if you go up to more lights, on and on and on. So this is a great little addition. We'll put this aside for right now. So the first thing that we want to do is really locate this hub. And so what I have done, and I'll unveil these here real quickly. I've taken all of the USB cables that came together, all bundled up right here so I can just simply plug them in. And I want to plug those into the first 4 outputs, and I think it goes right to left. And just to check the order on here, we are going to take one of them and plug it into one of our little wireless chargers. And this is micro USB. And then we'll take one of the MC lights and set it on here. And I do have this plugged in already. And that is number 1 right there charging. So we know we have them in the right order. And we're going to want to take this and we're going to want to locate it on here. And we still want to be able to make sure that once we have our foam in, that we still have a place for our bag. And our bag is about that big. And we're going to want to probably put this hub right about here in the center. And so let me get one of these pieces of Velcro. We're going to use 2 of these. These came with the Aputure lights. I'm going to be using them to install some of the stuff in the case. I also have these strips as well, and but I'm going to try 2 of these, and we'll cut to getting these all ready to go so you don't have to watch me peel them. Here we go, and we are going to get this on the very bottom here so it will open and close, and we are going to center it here. But that's where I want that situated. We'll plug it back in. And so now it's plugged in. We're just going to leave that here and we're going to let it set. And that's going to be able to open and close and be on top of the foam on that side of the case. Now we're going to want to position our first chargers. And because this case has these 2 divided sections, I need to decide if I want to use just this much of the case for the first 4, plus my battery bank. So what we're trying to do, set this down, we're trying to fit 4 chargers, right? To get our first 4 lights in here, as well as this charger. So that would give us 5 charging stations. I'll pull this back just a little bit, and I know you can see this on other camera angles. And so what I have kind of pre-laid out is that we're going to be able to do 2 on that end. And in the center section, we can do up to 5. So I could lay out 4 here and leave this section in for right now if I wanted to. Or I can just go ahead and cut the foam because I'm going to be adding more MC lights in the future. And so if I had one in the middle, then that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charging stations. But I think at this point, I am just going to lay it out for 4. So when this opens and closes, those cables will run down into here, plug into all 4 of those charging stations. And then this hub is going to go right here and stay here for the duration. And it's going to be mounted right here in foam that you can turn it over if you need to. And it's also going to be able to be charged as well from my hub, because the USB-C port actually will also go both ways. So you can charge this or you can charge from it. So I'm going to possibly only have 2 USBs coming out of this solar charger and just use this as a charging station. I'm still working out the details, but because it has a wireless charging ability as well, I can just simply take one of the MC lights, set it on here, and when I turn the button on right here, this is going to go into charging mode, and it turns blue, and I know that this Aputure light came on and it's charging. So we'll take that off. This will eventually time out. It goes red and says there's nothing charging. And we want to be able to position this here on one side and get one more of these discs on this side. So I'm going to set this in the case. And just so everybody can see what I'm doing, I'm going to take this divider out right now. I have a case right now that could charge wirelessly up to 5 MC lights. And if I add the other 3 charging stations, that gives me 8. So that's kind of the layout. I do plan on leaving this divider in. So we'll set that back. And that's kind of how the case is going to be laid out to start. Actually, I'm going to lay it out this way to start. And we'll add a disc here for charging and 2 more there once we start adding more MC lights. So you can see now how this case will hold up to 8 Aputure MC lights. So now what we want to do is we want to take our piece of foam and we want to figure out where that's going to lay out. So first of all, we know we need to get these cables down in here, and I like the fact that this already has a slot. So if we were to cut our first piece this way, right? It looks like we'd be able to take these cables and bring them down through here, but it doesn't give me the ability to charge the way I want to charge. So I'm going to probably run these cables in down underneath the power cord like this. And so I'm going to have 4 on this side and 4 on that side, and that's why I bought these little separators. Oops, dropped one on the floor. I have 4 of these. So put this foam down. So now we would figure out exactly where we want to position these separators. And I'd probably have one up here and one in the case, but those are some of the finishing touches we're going to do. But I do need to know where my cables are going to run. I also need to be able to charge this hub. And so if I have it directly up against the back, it's going to be impossible to plug USB cords into it. So it's probably going to go in the case like this. And the USB cables to charge it are going to have to come all the way around to this side, the one USB-C charger. And that's USB-C or USB to USB-C to charge this. And so I have one of those cables, and that cable I have is right here. And so I can add that here in a little bit. So, and actually these cables came with the discs. So they came with this kit. And then the MCs came with a USB to USB-C cable because they all have USB-C ports right here. So, okay, back to layout. So now we have 2 stencils. This stencil right here is designed to go right here. That piece of foam can go right there. And then this cardboard is to be a stencil to cut out this section right here. And it's a little short, so I'm going to cut it a little long and trim it down. So our first cut is going to go right about here. And so we'll have this edge to cut, and we'll have this edge to cut, and then when we get to this, it will go right in here. So we're going to do our first lines here. So I have a marker here. This is a dry erase, so it'll come back off. And we're just going to simply get this into place and see if we can't make. And remember I said I want it to be a little bit longer, and that's why I have the extra space up here. So right about here. So we're going to put that dry eraser mark there. Dry erase marker there. Dry erase marker there. And make that little edge. And so there's our mark. Now we're going to take this knife and I'm going to cut it out. Will now slide down into here easier because I have made tracks for him now. And that's also going to hold it from shifting back and forth. So Now we'll need to position our lights so they can go down in a slot all the way down to where the chargers are. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this foam out. We're going to turn it over, and now we are going to lay out our 4 chargers so we know where to cut our lights in. And we want to leave room for our cords to be able to get around these on the edges. So right about there, we're going to take our little trusty marker again, and we're just going to make a circle around these. We're painting on the bottom. Again, this is a dry erase marker, so I could wash it off. And we also want to leave foam space in between them. Again, these will be Velcroed on the bottom of the case, but the reason I want to cut those in is I want to cut halfway through the foam, and then I want to make this shape down to the foam. So we're going to cut halfway through the foam first, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to pick halfway, like this. So I've now cut these little pad cutouts in half, and then they are going to be able to insert right back in here like that. And then little charging stations, which you can see the top part of it right there. And if I put this MC light back in like that and pull this out on the back, you can see the back of the charger right there. So I will also cut in my USB cables so that they're inset, so they stay nice and neat in here, and then the cardboard holds them in place as well. So the next step is I'm going to finish cutting these out, cut the circles in half. I'm going to cut in the MC lights, and we'll come back when we have everything cut out. So there you have all 4 holes cut in and all 4 lights cut in. Now we're going to have cardboard over the top and the bottom. We're going to be spray painting it black so you won't see all of this mistake. And again, as long as we can get these in the bottom like that, we're going to cap them off with these pieces. We're going to cardboard over the bottom like this. And we're going to be able to drop in our MCs on the top, just like that. So let's get rocking. So now we have the first disc in. This is going to be the spot for 1, 2, and then on this side, 3, 4. So we want to put 1 in first, and because these are going to go in the box like this, we want to put the cable through right here. And we already have our slot. So we're simply going to take the first cable. I'm going to feed it through the slot like this. And I'm going to hook it up. And pull it back out. Stick the first disc in there like that. We got our cable out and we're ready to go. So how I find out which one is which is I'm just simply putting a MC unit on it. And I'm checking out the readout here on my board. So 1 is charging. So now I'm going to set this right here, and we're going to take these three, and we're going to find number 2. Okay, we're coming into the home stretch, so now we just need to do the insert that goes right here. So I have this much left, and I have this set on here. We've got all of the MC units in here now charging. I still need to organize the cords. We want to figure out this section and this section, but we're going to get foam in all of those sections. So I'm going to do a quick outline. And this edge has a slight taper, and because I didn't cut straight, I need to use that end. And almost running out of this, but we have stretched it really close to what we need. So gonna just outline this, and obviously going to cut it again with my knife. This time I'm gonna try to be a little bit straighter. There we go. So the taper is on this end. So let's try this. Okay. Actually, it fed down in there. I think I'm going to leave it like that. So that compartment for now is just going to be for later. Obviously, once I add more MCs, I'll be able to do 2 more here. The goal is to be able to do 2 more here to get to 8. The plan right now, it looks like for this solar panel, see, I could set it on top of any one of these sections, but I want to be able to charge. So right now, it's going to be in here. I want to run USB cables to it so that I can keep it charged. So it takes a USB-C. So we're going to pick a USB-C here and plug it into this next channel. And then we're going to have to organize this wire. But for right now, let's just get this plugged in so we know how to position this. So it's charging right now. You can see the charging light right here. So if that's set right there, then we need to do something with this cable. So my plan is to tuck the excess up underneath here. Until we actually expand the case. And then I can turn this over for solar charge, for wireless charge, over for solar charge, and it can be plugged in right there. Then the other thing about this brick is it'll charge 2 devices, but if you were to take one of these MC units out, let's get one of these, it's not quite as tight, and you charged it from the brick, it's going to charge faster. So if I was plugged in, I would move it here. If I wasn't plugged in, then I'd move it here. And so these I want to be pretty portable. So what I want to do is I want to have a couple in here. We actually have 4 more USB-C cables. So pretty much the case is done for my 4 lights, but what I want to do is I want to figure out all the layouts going forward. So because this brick can actually charge 2 other devices, I want cables in it. So I'm going to have a long one and I'm going to have a short one. So it is charging now, but I have the ability to charge 3 more devices, and we'll turn it this way. So if I wanted to throw my cell phone on there, I could just simply throw my cell phone on right now and it would be charging that if I push the button. If I wanted to pull one of these cords and charge one of my units, I can do that. We know this is going to be held in here pretty well because this closes down over the case. Over here, I can put in some more lighting units, and when it's all done and said, hopefully we're going to be able to get a total of 8 total lights. Now we may be charging 1 wirelessly right here and find a way to get 3 more in here. We may end up with this in sideways and 1 over here, but that's still to be determined. So this is for now garbage. And so all we need to do now is organize these cables. So I have these little 3M organizers. So we're going to peel this off. I want to put one, let's see, right here. We're going to put one right here. And another one over here. Pretty close. I still have these zip ties to be able to organize these cables. So what I want to do is I want to come over with these cables right here and pop these in. Okay, that just pull those a little bit and that kind of organizes that side. And then this side, we'll start with cable 1. It's not as thick. Okay, so then these will come down like this. I want to zip tie them here. Okay, so we have all of these coming down, and these are going to be for charging 3 other devices. So we're going to leave these right here. And I would like to organize these right down here. These I want to organize. And the ones that go down into my case, and I still can't hide those. So we're going to zip tie them. Here. Twisty tie. Okay, that cleans up them a little bit. These are going to go actually just underneath here. So we're going to clean this up just a little bit. So when I close the case, this, when we unplug it, it's going to roll up and just ride right here for right now. I think I'm going to keep the brick on this side for right now. I got a short cable for charging. Actually, it kind of makes more sense that we bring this brick over here and these cables. And that zip tie up and do another zip tie. I'll organize them a little bit more. I have more of these to play with this, but as of right now, I have 4 MC lights. I have all of the softboxes designed to go right there. And once I fill up the whole case, then I'll just set them right here. If I set them on this end, there's room to close this down. We don't want to close on my power cord. So let's unplug this, roll it up, set that there, set that there, and now let's close the case and see how we did. Let's set that right there. There you go. There's the case, and I'm pretty excited about this. I'm still going to do a little bit more organizing on the cables and decide exactly how I want to position those. This cable can detach, which is probably what I'm going to do when I'm traveling. And I am going to make some slots in here to be able to put cables and things like that, but that's after I lay out the other chargers. And so as of right now, and I can take this power cord if I wanted to, and I could drop it in the bag. And so it's not taking up space in the case. And again, just like that. And if I had 2 more MC units, I could drop them in the bag as well, or I could cut them into the foam and create charging stations for those as well. So I hope you enjoyed that DIY, do-it-yourself case for the MC RGB / bicolor lights by Aputure. I'm absolutely enjoying having them. I'm going to have them in my first Tuesday Night Live this week, and I'm very excited about that. So here's different angles of the case. I hope you enjoyed that. And maybe you want to do something just like this for your Aputure MC lights, or maybe you just want to order the kit that comes with 4 lights. I guarantee I spent a little bit more money on this kit, but it also has the ability to add more features to it because I have this space and this space over here. And just so you know, I actually can make a Velcro spot for it up here and be able to detach it, but I would be blocking part of my solar panels. And I even thought about getting a sleeve to slide this into it so I can slide it in and travel that way as well. So we'll figure out exactly how we're going to do the brick. But that's it. From this point, I will be back again when I get ready to do the extra lights, and we'll open the case and we'll add as many lights as we can to this case and make them wirelessly chargeable. Hopefully solar, backup battery chargeable, as well as shore power. And it'll be exciting. So thank you for tuning in. I'm Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I'll see you in the next video.